Had a really great day yesterday on an Olympus workshop looking at the Olympus OMD E-M1 Mark II, which is its current flagship model. And the workshop in particular was looking at the filmmaking qualities of the camera and what can be done by people who are looking to get more from the filmmaking side of these kind of micro four thirds devices that are increasing the kind of cameras that we use. Now, I've got some experience in filmmaking with the OMD EM5 Mark II, and whilst they've got a lot in common, there are differences. And the EM1 Mark II is the flagship model, and so therefore has things and features, etc., that I'm not going to get on this older, less sophisticated model. What I was particularly impressed with was this stabilisation. We were able to shoot handheld without a gimbal and get some really nice smooth footage. There were some very good tips by the workshop leader Bruno on handheld, on how to get the most from handheld filming. But the camera has 5-axis stabilisation and it really does play very well. Now, what you're not going to get from this is you're not going to get an action cam. This isn't something you can go running around the streets without a gimbal, suddenly shooting things and getting very smooth footage from. But you can shoot an awful lot now without a gimbal on this camera. The advantages of being able to shoot without a gimbal are many things. Obviously there's a cost saving involved if you're not having to buy a gimbal, but there's also a weight saving here as well. Gimbals are extra things to put into your gear, it's extra things to go wrong with regards to your camera. Also, they make you a less obvious filmmaker when you're doing your filming. If you can film handheld, then people are often not going to realise that you're actually filming, as they will just assume you're photographing. It can also be very useful when you're working with subjects who are perhaps a little more nervous in front of the camera, who aren't as used to being filmed. If you'll suddenly start bringing out big stabilisation tripods or monopods and gimbals, etc., that can be quite intimidating for someone. Whereas if you're just simply holding a camera and saying, okay, when you're ready, let's speak, that can be a very different experience for the person being interviewed. It's interesting to see that Olympus are now putting in this greater emphasis on filmmaking, which I'm quite pleased about, because I think for a while, although the OMD EM5 Mark II has got some very good filmmaking capabilities, Olympus have never really shouted about them. I found the workshop a really useful introduction to the filmmaking capabilities of the OMD EM1 Mark II. Certainly would love to hear what others think of the camera, if they've been using it for filmmaking, and whether or not they think it's worth the switch from previous gear, or even changing brands to move towards Olympus specifically for the features of this camera. So let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.